Tim's from San Francisco. That's where we met. We actually grew up in the same town. He was the best man at my wedding.
Me.
And gave a great speech. It's too bad you guys couldn't have been there.
I wish you guys could have been there. Started in San Francisco. I moved to LA. Met Jared.
It's widely rumored that we lived in a crematorium. That's just bad journalism. We lived in this leaky...
It was like actually a lot
It looked
like this.
a lot like this.
The roof leaked like crazy.
We kind of lived in San Francisco and LA because we were back and forth so much. So we had this weird identity crisis too.
We're kind of spread eagle.
It's California.
Pretty much. Our hometown is California.
The first record we recorded, and it was supposed to come out on this label. They went broke, had no money, so we didn't have a label. We were on our way to South by Southwest, and then we met Dangerbird in Austin. Through Cooley, and I want to say through Silver Sun Pickups
Brian
too.
Silver Sun Pickups, he talked to us up a lot. We sealed the deal.
At the Dangerbird Showcase.
Since that record came out, the self-titled one, we have been playing a lot of the songs in the new record.
We've been playing them for so long, unrecorded. And then we got into pre-production, and me and Rob were kind of scrambling to write songs for it. I've always been a big fan of like writing the song and then just recording it, you know, just right away to keep the energy or like the spirit of it.
The first one we did in someone else's spare time, you know, like kind of all by ourselves, and it came out how it came out, you know. And this one was a completely different experience.
A lot of decisions to be made.
A lot of options too.
A lot of options. It's a far more intense experience than I had ever had recording before. For me, it's all about being strictly in the moment, trying to get it done. And this was very like calculated, thought out endeavor.
We thought about it in Denver.
We thought about it in Denver.
It's our Denver
John.
record.
Songs would either be already written or we'd just kind of jam and come up with something as a group. Something like Pale Sun really was written in the studio. We like jammed and came up with a verse. We recorded it just Andy and Rob playing. What we did have, we didn't even have a chorus. And then we wrote one in the studio, I think,
Yeah.
and I didn't even hear it until I overdubbed my parts on it.
My favorite song probably would be All the Hurry and Wait, which I wrote a long time ago. And we had been playing it for a while with like a heavier version of it. So we made it a little bit more airy. And if we would have recorded it the way originally it was written, it would have been completely different, like heavy, but I'm so glad we flushed it out into what it is now. Will actually wrote and arranged the strings. We were going to get David Axelrod to do it. He couldn't do it. We were thinking, what are we gonna do? And then Will's like, oh, I write that stuff.
Yeah, I said it like that.
And so then he did it, and it was beautiful. I love it. I cry almost every time I hear it. A tear. I cry a tear.
Thanks.
The sun's in a lot of the lyrics. LA is kind of a trippy place because it's so sunny and it could be so depressing or so good. To be depressed when it's sunny out is like a weird feeling. And but also on the other hand, when it is sunny, you kind of have this weird energy. 2 Ways Out lyrically was written. Robert got a staph infection. He was in the hospital for like 4 days. And amongst all that pain and agony and sickness, he wrote 2 Ways Out. And his sick brain.
We had this rehearsal space downtown that was, you know, massive structure that every band in LA practices in. Rob was there, and he had like just recorded the song with him playing all the instruments that afternoon, and he played it for me. And I was blown away. Rob was like sure that, you know, this was just gonna die a slow death because they wouldn't want to play it. Then they came down and we played it for him, and it actually got a pretty warm reception. It was just like one of those weird songs that he was, I think, driving down to the rehearsal studio and he heard it in his head. And he got there and recorded it all, wrote the whole thing in like 3 hours. And he wrote it in like
15
recorded
minutes.
It. Yeah.
Well, you know, whatever.
I'm fucking badass, what do you want?